The first time you run your Step 7 software, you may get a message that says there was no valid authorization for Step 7 found. And you would get this message if during the installation of Step 7 you did not choose to have the authorization automatically transferred for you. So if that's the case, just click OK, and we can go ahead and close Step 7 because we need to run another program called AuthorsW. And before we run AuthorsW, we need to make sure that we've got a yellow floppy disk that's labeled Somatic S7 Multi-Authorization Disk inserted into the floppy drive on your computer. We've just done that. We'll click Start, go to Somatic, AuthorsW, and run the AuthorsW program. And what it does to start is search that yellow floppy disk looking for all the available authorizations that are on the disk. And you'll notice over here on the left, as it starts to build the list, there are two types of icons there. One shows an empty key hook, a little gray hook, and some of them have icons that have the gray key hook with a yellow key actually hanging there. If it has the empty gray key hook, that means there's a space on that disk to store the authorization, but there's not actually an authorization key there. If it has the yellow key hanging on the hook, that means that there is actually a key available that we can transfer off the floppy onto our hard drive. Now, after it's searched through A, we're going to go through and search the C drive, the hard disk, and see what authorizations are actually already installed. Now, in this case, there are quite a few. I've got several option packages and several different pieces of software on this machine. And each one of those just has the yellow key. It does not actually have a hook over here because all it will show are the keys that have actually been transferred from the hooks on the floppy disk over to use on the hard drive. Now, the reason we have to run AuthorsW and
we need to check our communications
is that you can actually install Step 7 on as many computers as you want, but you can only run it and actually use it on one computer at a time. And the way you do that would be to use this AuthorsW program to transfer the keys or the authorizations from the hard drive back and forth to the floppy. Now, we can enlarge this a little bit and get it up to the full screen where we can see a little more as to what's going on. And what we're going to do is, since we're trying to run Step 7 version 5, we're going to find something that says Somatic Step 7 Basis version 5.x. So that would work with any Release 5 version of Step 7. And you see we do have a yellow key hanging on the hook there. And also under the counter, it shows that we have one available, so we do have an authorization to transfer. And also, if you notice right below that, we've got a little red key hanging. This is actually a 14-day limited use key that we've got. And if we move the column over a little bit, it'll tell us that right down here by the red key. And that's to be used in an emergency in case of something like a hard drive crash or if you lost the key. You can actually use this one for 14 days while you get a replacement. You have the option of calling the hotline in Johnson City, Tennessee, and by using the serial number, which is on the label of that yellow floppy disk that holds the authorizations, it usually starts with KHE and then a number. You can call in to the hotline and get your authorization restored over the phone by using that serial number. So to transfer, all we have to do is select the one that we want from the drive A, and if we had multiple authorizations we wanted to move, we could actually hold the Shift key down and click, and it would select several in a row. Or you can use the Control key and click on several scattered throughout the program or throughout the list here. But in this case, we just want to transfer the one Step 7 basis. So as soon as we click on it, we get our little right facing arrow becomes active. And if we click that right arrow, it's going to start transferring the drive or the authorization over to our other drive. See down here at the bottom, it says we are installing that authorization onto our C drive. And this will take a few seconds while it actually transfers that over. And then once that's done, it will go through and research both disk drives to show that the authorizations have been actually removed from the A drive and placed on the C drive. So we watch our list being made here on the left side. We have, again, both the key hooks showing a place to store the authorization and the yellow keys hanging on the hook that says we actually do have the authorization there. And as we get on down toward our step 7, we'll see now that where we did have a yellow key hanging on the hook for our basis version 5, now we only have the hook without the key. And we also see our counter has been set back to 0 because we no longer have that authorization on the floppy. It's been moved over to our C drive. And as it searches through the C drive, we'll in a minute see that one come up. Now again, you may not have anything except step 7 show up here on the right side. Again, I've got several option packages and different software packages installed on this computer. So it's got to search through and find all of those. In your case, it may just immediately pop up and show the step 7 basis version 5. It'll continue to search until it finds everything that's been installed over on the C drive. And as soon as our bar moves across to 100%, it'll sort through there, and we can take a quick check and make sure that it actually got transferred across. And now we can look down through here and find our step 7 basis version 5.x that we moved across. It does have a 1 in the counter. So we transferred everything successfully. We can close our AuthorsW now. And if we go back and try to run step 7 now, we no longer get the message saying that there was no authorization.